Hey everybody, what's up? We are here with the Timeless reading. Welcome. The first cards that we have out are Six of Wands and Eight of Cups. There was another reading that I did today that started off with the Six of Wands. I think it was a Gemini reading, which will have been published on the 28th of November for anyone curious. Okay, we have Six of Wands, Eight of Cups, Two of Swords, Two of Pentacles, the Magician, and Seven of Pentacles. Okay, let's talk about major arcanas. I just want to pull one more card first before we do this. Okay, as far as major arcanas, we have the Magician, we have Temperance, and we have the Tower. Now, when we have the Magician coming out, this speaks about us figuring things out, things that we're trying to do. First, knowing what our intention is, and then taking the steps to sort of see that actually happen. So we have that idea, and then we go about doing our best to try to accomplish whatever that is. This feels like it's connected with something that you are in the middle of right now. Like in the middle of manifesting. So this can be something that you've been working on. I actually want to clarify. Because I get the feeling of, if you're working on something and it's taking some time, that can be part of the reason why the energy is coming up this way. You may be checking in with something and being like, well, is what I did effective? Why is it taking so long? Maybe like that. This can be connected with like feelings that you're having. Yeah, I feel like there's kind of a barrier that you're breaking through, and it's something that is very difficult to break through, but it's happening, but that's why it's happening so slowly. Because seeing Six of Wands, it speaks about something going well, but having Seven of Pentacles feels like it's not finished yet. So you can see Six of Wands as you're moving through some type of process. Six of Wands is connected with something going well, and it can even be a moment too where you're like, look at my hard work, it's paying off, or like, look, I really applied myself here and I'm seeing that something is going well. And so you can be seeing that happening. But because we have Seven of Pentacles here, it's something that the process is not finished yet. So you can say like, this is a win for this part of the process, but the entirety of the process is not finished yet. Now, we also have Eight of Cups and we have 10 of Pentacles, and I wonder if this is possibly thinking about stepping away from something, but it's strange to me because like, why would we step away from something if it is the 10 of Pentacles? But maybe you also feel like something could potentially be like that is what it is. Because we can see tens as being the end of a process. What would be motivating this? Eight of Cups. Maybe you're ready for something new. I feel like you're going to be exploring something that you want. What's clarifying Eight of Cups is Ace of Swords, so I actually feel like you have decided something at this point. Ace of Swords is there, and also the Fool is there. Which can mean a very big start to a new chapter. Like the very beginning of a journey that's going to be happening. It's kind of like an adventure that you're going to be going on. Maybe too with Eight of Cups, you feel like you have something, but you may not feel like totally satisfied with it, and maybe you feel in a way like that speaks for itself, and maybe that concludes that aspect of the process. Now, what I'm also seeing in the very middle of the spread is we have Two of Swords and we have Temperance. So this is like not rushing yourself to a conclusion, like slowly, incrementally, you're getting to a place where you can feel that sense of decision, but to not rush prematurely to get to that conclusion. Now I'm also seeing Two of Pentacles here, and below Two of Pentacles we have the Tower, which can mean that when you have stuff that you are maneuvering with, a new element can be introduced to a situation. So Two of Pentacles is already you trying to figure something out, but then when we have the Tower there, it feels like something that sort of wasn't part of the mix before then becomes part of the mix, and you can be figuring out, well, now that this is also happening, how do I manage and how do I figure this out? And it can be like a very difficult environment actually to be in, given what's going on and having to adjust. It can be a really rough period trying to adjust, but you kind of are like, well, what else am I going to do here? This just has to be done right now. But you can feel that instead of it being like a just riding the wave, that you constantly have to sort of move around to make sure that you don't fall off. This feels too like that part of Two of Swords, Two of Pentacles, and the Magician feels like trying to figure out how to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish, like how to do what you're trying to do here. Can we also clarify this Tower? Yeah, I see the breaking up here of something. Like, I get this sense of something wasn't working the way that it needed to, and it feels like it needed a force as big as the Tower to come through and sort of knock the pieces around so it can be rebuilt in a way where it can actually function properly. But there could have been stuff that wasn't being seen about this. And I'm also too seeing Eight of Cups be connected with the Tower, and so this can almost be like a flash thing being decided, where there's a move that's made and it can feel almost like eruptive or spontaneous. Like just all of a sudden, yep, I'm gonna do it, and then that thing ends up being done, but it can be sort of a shock or a surprise to maybe everybody involved, like self included is what this kind of feels like. And it can actually be the dismantling of things as well that this is happening, that someone is stepping away. I feel an abruptness to this, the way that it happens. We have Sagittarius, we have Mars, and we also have Mercury here. I kind of get a feeling too of like some structure having like some nebulous type of issue, and that the tower allows it to be broken down, like it combusts. And even though that can feel unsettling, at the same time it almost feels like there was no other way to like problem solve than this. But it feels like it had to be something very, very severe. I'm seeing Justice and Five of Wands. This can very much be a battle of, there's one side of this, there's another side of this, and trying to come to a just conclusion, especially now that this is being involved here. Because I'm seeing Justice be connected with the Magician, and so this means like in order for things to actually be working the way that they're supposed to, like in order for things to have a chance to be sustainable, to be vibrant, to be harmonious, to work for everybody properly, to be fair, that this is the course of action that must be taken. But that it's a bit of a battle that's going on here. I feel too like somebody steps out of a situation because of what comes to light. That's what I'm seeing here. Because I'm seeing Justice be involved in this. So this can be like something even being exposed here. And that's why the migration happens. And it abruptly starts a new chapter. But it again feels abrupt. The way that this happens, like this may not have been expected. It could have even been being thought about, contemplated, but nothing was really happening. And this feels like something then happens, but it can be the actual like dismantling of things, of like some type of structure. And it can actually cause a bit of an eruption as well. Like I feel like something breaks out or breaks loose because of that. But now there's actually a chance for things to be worked on the way that they need to be. Because before it feels again like the way that I'm seeing things were before is that there was a structure, okay? And it feels like there was something off with it, but it's like something where nobody could really put their finger on it. It just feels like there wasn't an ability to penetrate it for some reason. Nebulous. And so this tower happening allows, even though it can feel like kind of mass destruction in a way, it's only because this is like how deeply rooted something was and needed to be pulled up in order to actually be worked on in a way where building it effectively and having the structure be effective and work the way that it needed to be, this allows that to be possible. But now there can be a vying for power that's connected with this, but this feels more so like what is the right way to do this, and that having to be worked out. Having Justice and having Five of Wands, it feels like that battle of like what is the right way, like what are the values, how is this really supposed to be? And so now that this is being introduced, it feels like stuff has to be worked out in order for that energy to be obtained. So there will be a development that's connected with it. And there will also be a breakthrough as well. Here I'm seeing there will be a conclusion that's made. Let's talk about an example for this. When we have justice and we have Five of Wands, this can be like a legal battle. This can be like a court battle that's happening, but having that Ace of Swords here, there's going to be a conclusion. There will be a very solid, like, this is what's being determined, like this is what the outcome of this is, and it feels very much like it allows for a new chapter to start where things are determined and things feel very, very clear. But it only happens after, it feels like something very big had to be worked out here. But now you have your answer. But it feels like to get to this point where a decision was finally made, where a conclusion was had, I'm seeing this took a long time. And then it feels like we know what we're doing now. Things aren't really up in the air anymore. Things have been worked out. A conclusion has been had. Things feel very clear. And then the path begins. Like, we know where we are, what we're doing, what the purpose is of this, where things are going. Having Ace of Swords too kind of feels like the truth coming out a bit to me. Like, justice being there feels like an energy coming through and saying something is going on here and there needs to be accountability. And then Five of Wands feels like the battle of that's happening, or the working out of that's happening. And then Ace of Swords feels very much like the truth coming out. And once that happens, it feels very clear like what's going on, but this can be a surprise. Like, we didn't expect this to be happening, or just kind of can feel like almost out of nowhere a bit, like, now here we are and this is what's going on. Like, it delivers us to the path. And then I'm seeing things move forward very quickly, but after there had been a long delay, like this conclusion, it had taken a long time to get to, and it feels very much like something was in the air for a while. But now everything has come to light. Something that was in the air, it feels like something very surprising happens. And things all of a sudden move forward. It feels like a car that's stuck in the mud, and like as much as the gas is being pressed, like it's not going anywhere, and then like all of a sudden the gas is pressed and it like rushes forward. Like, it's not stuck anymore, and it's surprising, going from something that was stagnant and not moving at all to moving very, very quickly forward. Like an intention that was imbued with power. I feel too like something that's part of this process is that something was potentially being like conjured up, but that thing does end up being closed out and something else goes on. Because justice comes through to check this energy, it just feels like it allows something that needed to be dying off here, and something that a process that was meant to be ended actually does end now. And that things finally be moving forward. It feels like that, like the feeling like no matter what one was doing, like nothing was happening because of, back to the energy in the beginning, how I was saying that there's this feeling of there's an intention, there's a vision, something here is happening, okay? But then feeling like they're like banging into the wall again and again because some type of structure was like very concrete or like very dense. And so there could have been this thought of like, is this actually doing anything? Is anything going to be happening here? Again, like the car that's stuck in the mud, like pressing the gas, but it's not going anywhere. But I'm seeing the energy shake loose now. So it just moves, like the wall is broken, there's a breakthrough that happens. Finally, like everything that's been invested, it's like, it reminds me of those machines where you put the money into it and that thing goes back and forth, and when you finally get the money to drop down in the right place, when it moves forward, like all of the money comes out of it. It's something like that, where it's like the money kept being dropped in and like it wasn't like doing the cascading effect where all of it would fall out. And so it's like stuff just being dropped in, but then nothing is happening, and then all of a sudden like one of those little coins is dropped in, and then like all of it comes out. And then you see like, oh, something was happening this whole time. It was just like building and getting set up. It's just that it wasn't time to happen until now. And now something is happening. This is being recorded on November 26th. Just in case anybody needs to know. It will come out after that because I record the readings early, prior to publishing them, but just in case there needs to be a timestamp for some reason. What you will see is feeling like finally there is success that has been being, I don't want to say like waited on or waited for as if nothing was going on, but it feels like finally there's something to show. And now, where before stuff was being done and then it could have felt like no movement was happening, now it's going to be the opposite. It's going to be very quick movement. So it's like sort of rubber banding to the opposite end of the spectrum, where before investments were being made, stuff was being done here, but nothing was really happening, to now things happening at a very, very, very fast-paced speed, which will feel like the opposite of what was going on before. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. This was a long time coming. I'm seeing that it was quite a process. And this feels like needing to stick with it and see it through, and that now outcomes are being seen. I'm seeing this going to be a very happy, happy time as well. Having the sun on the bottom of the deck can feel like things finally come to light, finally see what's going on. There being a lot of joy. There can be celebration that's connected with this as well. I do feel like part of this is the breaking down of something that needed to be broken down. And that too, finally there is a stuff being figured out and finally being like, I'm on the path now. Like this has delivered one to the path that one has wanted to be on, but it took like a long time to get here. Then it feels like now it's happening. So I'm seeing the reading end in a place where one feels like I'm exactly on the path that I want to be on. Things needed to happen, choices needed to be made, stalling, movement, not giving up, holding the vision, stuff being corrected, things being broken down, things being built back up, and all of this puts you in this place now where you're like, it couldn't feel more clear to me. And it feels too like, because of being in that space of clarity, things then move forward where there's like nothing blocking the direction anymore. So not only is one like on that road that they're like, this is where I'm supposed to be, there's also nothing blocking. So it's just like free road in front so everything can move forward. Like a slingshot. Like something was being pulled back and back and back and back, and now it's being released and it moves very quickly forward. And one feels like, if there's any road I'm meant to be on, it's this one right here, doing exactly this. I'm in the right place, and things move forward. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.